a little bit ago today, and um, there was something that I did, a gesture, and I want this video to get out without being shut down or demonetized or whatever. But the thing is, there were four girls on a dating show or dating, whatever it was, and they were being very promiscuous and fallacious. That's not what being gothic is about. And real gothic people like me and my other three gothic female friends I can vouch for all gothic girls that no gothic girl is ever like that. Only reason you're seeing those gothic girls, let me rephrase that. The only reason you're seeing those girls dress gothic is because they're posers. And that's a thing that real gothic people need to stop calling posers. These girls are gothic and they're not. Excuse me. Listening to music doesn't make you a gothic. Playing video games while wearing black doesn't make you gothic. Drinks, food, decor, clothing, all of that stuff alone doesn't make you gothic. What makes you gothic is because there are certain aspects. There's no requirements you have to meet. It's just when I became gothic, it was more than just a state of mind. I didn't want to get into it without knowing what it was. So I've been gothic in my mind since I was 20 years old. I loved the clothes. I've mentally been gothic. I have loved the clothes. I loved somewhat of the music. I liked the dress style of it. All gothics are not evil or demonic. Everything that comes from the dark is not evil. Um, everything that every female that wears black is not gothic. Gothic people don't just wear makeup or they don't just listen to the music. It's more than that. If you're going to claim to be gothic and you have an OnlyFans, you're not gothic. I'm sorry, not sorry to tell you, but you are not gothic. It's going out to all you girls that wear black and think you're gothic, but you're not. You're fulfilling a man's fantasy or a female's fantasy. You're doing what makes you money. You're being basically an internet an internet 7-Eleven. You're an internet 7-Eleven. You're an internet doorknob basically. And if you're going to wear black, at least admit that you're not gothic. You're just trying to fulfill a person's fantasy. Anybody that thinks listening to music alone, or wearing clothes alone, or knowing about it alone, or dressing it alone, or doing the decor alone, if you think only that's gothic, you're majorly watering down the subculture. Gothics don't just like Halloween. They're not limited to Halloween. They're not limited to horror movies. They're not limited to turmoil or distress. They're not limited to past trauma or past life or whatever. Bad things happen to everybody. Get over it. You should get on with it. Get on with your life. Get on with who you are. Bad things happen to me. They happen to my family. They happen to you. They happen to your family. There's nobody exempt or immune to having a scar. There's nobody immune to having scars. There's nobody immune to having a headache. Not one person alive has been on this earth has never had a headache. If they're telling you they never had a headache, then they're selling something. The fact of the matter is, Gothic women, real Gothic people, period, they know the difference between real Goth and a poser. And those four girls, I'll show them. I won't show you what they did, but one girl stood on another guy's back. The other girl spit in the other guy's mouth. How is that allowed? Like on YouTube, period. How is that even allowed? That's disgusting. That's such an obscene gesture. How is that allowed? Tell me that. And why are people that are gothic calling these broads gothic? They're not gothic. If you're real gothic, you should know the difference between a real gothic person and a poser. I got I nearly got into an argument with somebody, and he said that only listening to music makes you goth. His words that he so strategically used were being hold on. Listening to goth music is the only requirement to be goth. If you think otherwise, you're a poser. I'm going to show you this. This is what he said. This is what I said. Not, I have said some stuff way down there too, but I said, not to mention there are other poser girls on all social media giving off the perception that all goth girls are fallacious and promiscuous women. Please stop calling them goth because they are not. Listening to goth music does not Listening to the goth music does not make these girls goth. Dressing and acting like a 7-Eleven does not make them goth. So please, real goth, stop calling posers goth. Y'all know the difference between posers and real. And this is what the guy said. Listening to goth music is the only requirement to be goth. If you think otherwise, you're a poser. I was finna go in on this idiot. I was totally finna go in on him. And then she stood up and defended me, saying that the goth subculture is only about the music is literally watering down the whole meaning of the subculture. The goth subculture includes a bunch of things like politics, art, literature, clothes, love for the morbid and macabre. Now, not all Gothics are into darkness and morbid, macabre, or horror or anything like that. There's a bunch of different Goths that like a bunch of different things. Um, Plus, the examples she included. Don't even listen to the examples, meaning the girls who you will see after I finish reading this. Don't even listen to goth music, and they say that Deftones are goth. Please learn a bit more about the subculture before speaking. You see that. And the examples she aforementioned are these idiots here. See, this is horrible. She's totally right. She's 100% right. It needs to stop. This is the example of a real gothic girl, along with some other friends that I have and follow. So, like, with that being said, there's a whole lot of things that. How do I switch this back around? Where's my rotator? There we go. There's a lot of females that are gothic that are very respectful. One of those females who I follow is Jade the Libra. If you know, you know. You know, she does the whole gothic decor. She does the whole gothic dress. I don't know what the music is she listens to. Um, she's never played any of her music and can't really blame her because of YouTube, but there is a lot of other gothic. Let me scroll down my YouTube. There's Spooky McBlink, Spooky MCBLINK. She's a small YouTuber, very, very small YouTuber. YouTuber. Very small YouTuber. And she only has 125 subscribers. So I have 8,000. So if I could get this girl some more subs, help me along with her because I really think that she should have more subs. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to pause. I keep getting video interruptions, like people calling me, my phone rings, people calling me in the houses. This is hard for a YouTuber to sit and try to do a video when you keep getting interruptions. It's annoying, but it's fine. What I was saying is the subculture, gothic subculture. If you want to talk about gothic subculture, like literally, gothic subculture, dress code, 19, hold on. Gothic subculture, 14, 15, 16, 17, 1800s. Gothic subculture dress code 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th century. See, look, that's what the Gothic dress code is. And it's bringing up women because guess what? It's also bringing up men too. You see? Okay. Like the video, the Google images I was showing you, that's Gothic. Gothic dress code. They didn't even have the music that we listen to now as Gothic. They didn't have Deftones, they didn't have Nicks, they didn't have Bauhaus, they didn't have that music back then. Gothic, they had Gothic people like Beethoven, Tchaikovsky. They had people like that who actually went and made music with a piano or a harp or whatever. They had people like Leonardo, Mike, aside from the Ninja Turtles, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, Picasso, Edgar Allan Poe. All those people, those were Gothic dressing people because those were the times, the colonial times, the steampunk, the medieval Gothic, like this back here, Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Gone with the Wind, those were Gothic dress codes. If you want to be technical, our Gothic music now doesn't even match the Gothic music that they had back then because Gothic music times have changed. Gothic have changed dramatically. Like it ain't even about, sometimes people call this romantic goth and trad goth. What is trad goth? Let's talk about that for a minute. Traditional gothic is the same as they're calling romantic gothic. Now watch this. Watch. Romantic goth dress code. Go to images. Look at this. Romantic goth dress code. That's the romantic gothic dress code. Let me turn this around so you can see it. Romantic goth dress code. Now, trad goth dress code. Images. Trad goth. Tell me, what's the difference between that and what we just saw? Look at that. What's the difference between that and what we just saw? I don't believe in two separate dress codes of gothic romantic and gothic traditional. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. This isn't romantic goth. This is vampire or something like that. Mall or something like that. But what's the difference between traditional goth and, romantic goth? I think that's something they made up to throw in there because it looks romantic. Stop calling Gothic traditional and Gothic romantic different when they're basically the same thing. What's different is Gothic and emo. Gothic and emo are two different dress codes. I mean, two different subcultures. Ultimately, yes, we both wear black, but at the same time, me being a Gothic, emo, and grungy type of dress person, I can understand why they would think they're the same, but believe me, they aren't. They are not. And that being said, there's a lot of things I could touch on in this video. I'm going to try to keep this short, but it's probably going to go on for an hour. Those four girls that I showed you are fulfilling a man's fantasy. They don't care about the Gothic subculture. They don't care. Excuse me. They don't care about the Gothic subculture. Excuse me. They don't care about the Gothic history. They don't care nothing about that. They only care about making money on their OF account, OnlyFans, and it's not right. It's giving real Gothic women a bad name. Girls who are actually Gothic. Now, don't get me wrong. I typed in, Gothic men OnlyFans just to see if any guys are out there doing it. Yeah, they are, but the three people that I found, I looked at their profile. One admitted, they all admitted to not being Gothic, but this is how they admitted it. One straight up said, "I'm not Gothic. I'm just being Gothic. I'm just putting on this to make the money. I don't care about the subculture. He never was Gothic. He's only doing it for the money." So that's one that those four girls will never do because they want people to think that they're out there doing it. Two, the guy said he's not Gothic, but a girl wanted him to dress like that. And so he did it for her, and that's why his videos and his pictures are like that with a girl on her knees because she wanted him to do that. He said he would do whatever a girl wanted for the money. Basically, those two dudes are in it for the same thing. They both openly admitted to not being Gothic. The third guy said he wasn't Gothic and he never wanted to be. He did it because that's where the money came in. That's all those four girls are doing it for. That's all those four girls are doing it for is the simple fact that they are not Gothic, but they're not going to tell the men that because that's going to ruin their fantasy. Everybody wants this big boob goth girl or big breasted goth girl that's not even close to being goth and don't even know what the gothic subculture is about. Don't even know what the emo subculture is about. Don't know what the grungy subculture is about. They just dress like that just because they think that that's what men want, and a lot of times that's what men want. That's what from promiscuous, fallacious men want. Women aren't the only people that can be fallacious. Men are more fallacious than women at times. And it's clearly evident because in that video, she made the guy roll. In the dating clip, they showed the video. She spit in the guy's mouth. Another one where they were like, "How are you gonna top that?" My stomach. I was only like 20 seconds into the video, and just looking at him, my stomach was hurting. Like literally, I literally got a stomach ache just from looking at him. Then when the girl started talking like a child, that's not her voice, but she began talking like a child. I, I don't even get me started on that. Now, if I call these girls out and say what they are, my video will probably get in trouble. So I'm going to try to keep this PG. If you're let me pick my words. There's a certain less dignity to it because what's up, clown? How you doing? There's a certain less dignity to it. I had to redo this video because of a gesture I did, and I don't want my channel to get any, strikes or warnings against it. So that's why I'm redoing this. But the gothic women that I showed earlier for it in the video were not gothic, and they shouldn't be referred to as gothic. Me being a gothic person, there's a like real gothic people, real emo people, real grungy people. You guys should know the difference between gothic and posers. Clearly, I showed you some posers earlier, and I showed you the difference between a real gothic and what gothic has become today. All gothics are everything evil doesn't come from the darkness. Everything about the dark, is not evil. Everything about the color black is not evil. Every gothic or emo person is not a cutter or do self harm to themselves. They don't do that. Everything about a gothic is not winchy or warlock or evil or demonic or stuff like that. There are gothic. I'm actually like I said before, I'm actually a deacon at my church. I'm a deacon in my church, and there's nothing evil about me at all. I may have the black vines, the garland, and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me evil. All Gothic people are not about horror movies. All Gothic people are not about blood and violence and gory movies. All Gothic people do not focus on the traumatic events of their life. There's other aspects of Gothic than just dreary, gloomy, depressing crap. It depends on where you take it. If a Gothic person wants to focus on Christianity, that's what they focus on. If a Gothic person wants to focus on demonic crap, that's what they focus on. If Gothic people want to focus on the color white, they could do that. There are white Goths, there are red, black, yellow. There's all kind of different Goths. There's pastel Goths. The point that I'm getting at is God. Stop limiting Gothic to one emotion and start learning the difference between what a real goth is and what a poser is. And it's normally the girls that's out there being promiscuous in easy 7-Eleven doorknobs where people just go out there and just, they go out there and they do whatever they think is gothic because they saw it on a video. Like, there's this guy I used to follow, and he started tearing down somebody else. He tried to secretly undercover tear down somebody else. I'll give you an example. There's a couple that you follow. They dress as Harley and a Joker, and they're doing it only as cosplay, and they let you know that it's cosplay, so don't take it seriously. That's fine. I welcome that. But if you take somebody else's style and you straight out copy it, that's not your style. You stole. If somebody takes this and put a chain in front of that and hang black garland and get the thing right there by their TV and put Halloween. If somebody does my room to a T, get my same rug, the Sam head, my same fridge with the Annabelle sticker, get my same drinking cup. If somebody copies my bed, my curtain right there that matches my bed uh, comforter, if somebody takes this style and copy it and say they're not God. They just stole, they copy and pasted basically. They copy and pasted a style and said it's theirs. That's not theirs. They copy and pasted somebody's God style because they liked it. And they altered it maybe a little bit, like they took the garland and stuck it to the wall instead of letting it hang. You still stole it because you didn't think of doing that before. You just wanted some ideas. You like the idea, that's fine. But the thing is, this guy I used to follow, he was dressing like the Joker, swearing by every word in the alphabet. I mean, every word in the English language, and in every language in every country. that he was gothic, but he was dressing like the Joker, the Heath Ledger Joker, mind you. If you dress like the Joker, that's like me saying I'm dressing like Batman and I'm gothic. No, I'm not. I'm Batman. I'm trying to dress like what I saw somebody else do. I'm copying and pasting what I saw somebody else do. And the thing wrong with that is trying to steal from somebody. I'm copying what I saw somebody else do. That doesn't make me gothic. That just makes me a poser. And then take it a step further, that makes me a fake person because I'm not being myself. I'm copying what somebody else did. Now, that being said, if you're going to be a gothic person, know what you're talking about. Find balance between truth and the lie, poser and goth, good and evil, darkness and light. Know that there are people that are actually out there living that gothic life. We're not being posers. We're not being fake. We're not being like this because we have an OnlyFans account. We're not being like this for the simple fact just to get viewers or money. I don't care about why they do it, but just don't go out there on social media claiming to be gothic when you and I both know you're not. You're a poser and you know darn well you are. Another thing is, like I said in a before mentioned video, Gothic isn't just, excuse me, a state of mind. You do your research on it and you find out what Gothic is before you try to call somebody out, like that guy tried to call me out for whatever reason. Um, Gothic isn't just about I'm gonna put on Gothic one day and then I'm gonna wake up the next morning. Hey, I decided I'm Gothic, and then the next morning I'm like, no, I don't want to be Gothic anymore. It's not something you gradually go on and off, on and off, on and off. It's there's no gray. It's either black or white. You're either gonna be Gothic or you're not. You don't just wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm goth. It starts in your mind. I've been gothic since I was 12, not 12. I've been mentally gothic since I was in my early 20s. But I didn't understand it, and I'm not finna get into anything or dress like anything that I don't understand. When I first started thinking about the Gothic, I thought it was all demonic. Like, why are they doing that? Why are they worshiping Satan? I started doing more research. Gothic is not satanic. Gothic, you want to be technical, Gothic has no religion at all. It's where people take it. People are Gothic because it's not only because of what they went through in their past life or what they decide to do. I mean, not what they decide to do, what they look at on TV and then try to copy that. Or like Gothic is not all horror movies and creepy stuff and gore and stuff like that. It's more about your state of mind and what you studied and what you end up liking. Gothic has changed so much from the 1400s all the way to the 1900s. It started gravitating more toward the war. I can't talk. Gravitating more toward the color black and red and white or green, whatever color you associate it with. But my color has always been red and black. It's always, always, always ever been red and black. I mean, it's a little bit of brown too. I like green, the earth tone colors, the autumn colors, and stuff like that. But Gothic originally never had nothing to do with the seasons. Like I showed you, it was about the medieval times, the 14, 15 colonial times, steampunk, stuff like that. Gothic didn't have anything to do with just the color black. Everybody in those times wore different colors. Blue, I mean, even Gone with the Wind, people wore black, blue, green. They just wore different colors, but it's about the way the dress code was, the way the dress, the style of the clothes that they wore. Now in the late 1900s and the 2000s is just more gravitated toward black. Let me give you an example. Somebody on my Discord wanted to know about my gothic um, dress code, and I'll show it. I forgot to turn off my light, but this is my dress code. These are my clothes. These are my gothic clothes, all of them. My gothic belt. This is my gothic belt. This is my favorite belt. I won't go through all of my clothes. I'll go through a good majority of them, though. These may look like the same, but they're not. I just happen to like the gothic pants with the red trim. Because, like I said, I've always liked red and black. Okay, I'll go over to my shirts now. Gothic short sleeve. I'll skip past them because these are all tank tops. Yes, I have white in my closet. Don't beat me up over it. Technically, this was supposed to be black, but Amazon sent me this white one, and at least I got my money for it. But by the time I got the shirt and ordered it, the black ones were gone. So that's the story behind that. See, I have jerseys. I don't even wear these though, to be honest. I haven't worn my jerseys since since 2014 probably. The fact that they still even fit is mind-boggling. Um, Yep, Gothic aren't just all about vampires either. They're not all about wolves or werewolves or anything like that. They're not about what the TV shows or movies you watch. I won't go through all of my clothes, but you kind of get the gist of it. You get the gist of it. All of my clothes they go back all the way back there, but you get the gist of it. You understand. And there are a lot of things that make me, you know, there are a lot of things that make me think about what Gothic is, and then when I think about it, it's what I did with my room, my house. That doesn't make me Gothic because I have that. That doesn't make me Gothic. Neither does this. This cross here, where's my cross? That doesn't make me Gothic. It's usually up here. This is where it normally belongs. There. You see, Gothics aren't all about horror movies all the time. I collect horror movie stuff because I like horror movies. I know they're not real, and it's hard to jump scare me for the simple fact that I think I ruined myself on horror movies because I looked at behind the scenes. I see all the ragu sauce, and one movie said they took meatballs and they splattered them. They literally threw them against the floor to make the wet, squishy um, sound when somebody gets cut open and stuff like that, or they'll hit lettuce or something like that. Now, when I see a scary movie, this is going to sound gross, but it just makes me hungry because I think about all the meatballs and food and salad and stuff that they're squashing and ruining just to make this sound effect. Now it just makes me hungry. It doesn't gross me out anymore. And be careful when you watch behind the scenes stuff like that because if you watch too much of it like I did, it'll ruin the scare factor for you. It don't jump scare you as much. You already know what to look for, so it's like, oh, I watch it. So I try to refrain myself from watching behind the scenes and stuff like that. That being said, that's a whole nother topic though. That's a whole nother video I want to get into. But the whole thing about this is those four girls that came out with that dating video and where she spit in the guy's mouth and then the other girl walked on it. He laid down outright and she literally walked on his back. And When she spit in the guy's mouth, she literally said, you know, how are you guys gonna? She looked at the other dudes and was like, how are you guys gonna top that? How are you guys gonna? She spit in his mouth. It's like this girl could have had herpes, genital warts, gonorrhea, did whatever to a guy, had all these diseases floating around in her mouth. Not a, and that's alone, not including the oral diseases that you could get from letting somebody do that to you. And you're just letting this strange girl you have no history of, don't even know her from how many fingers am I holding up right now? You don't know, do you? How many fingers? Just guess. How many fingers? Shoot. Okay, how many fingers? I'm holding up two fingers and a thumb, basically. I'm holding up two fingers. You don't know, he didn't know this girl from how many fingers I'm holding up. And he sat up there and let her in her hawk to it in her mouth. It's like this is a fantasy being fulfilled by him. She's not goth at all. And while we're on the subject of this spitting thing, when did disgust become such a fetish? I used to work at Spirit Halloween, and the people that know me, you know, they know I worked at Spirit Halloween. And this is, to this day, this bothers me because they'll come back and they'll do it again. They had a whole section, a whole row, excuse me, with this Hawk Tour girl. And that alone made me lose 60% of the respect that I have for Spirit Halloween. For the simple fact that they gave this girl her own section, her own aisle, buttons, pins, costumes, and the costume was a pink Michael Myers overalls looking thing. Another one, they had a bunch of different ones. It wasn't just an overalls looking thing. One of them had a pink shirt with Hawk Tour up here. And this girl's probably got 5 million views right now. If that's the case, look at this. I'm digging up my nose and, you know, of course, there's nothing there. I'm not gothic, so there's nothing there. But I'm gonna lick this off my. Now I should. This video should get like 5 million views right now because of me doing that. The fact that the Hog Tour girl is scary, but not in the sense that it should be in Spirit Halloween. It's scary in the fact that this broad blew up as much as she did from spit on that thing. Like, are fallacious women really getting this kind of publicity? What is the dumb audience that's giving them this type of attention? Who in their right mind is giving these girls the attention they don't deserve? Anything to keep these girls from getting a real job. This, this used to be the thought that keeps me up at night, thinking, wondering, pondering, what could people possibly see in a fallacious, promiscuous female like that? If Gothic had been a thing back then like it is now, I guarantee you she probably would be dressed in black. And she would be saying she is Gothic. She would 100% probably say that, knowing that she's not, but because it's too late and she can't really say she's Gothic, nobody will buy it. But I guarantee you who will buy it, the guys in that video and anybody like them. Not any self respecting Gothic female is going to trust anything like that. Not any self respecting Gothic male, such as myself and anybody else, is going to respect what any of those posers say because they're doing it just for a fetish, to fulfill a fetish of some dumb, lame brained guy who has the IQ of minus 2,000. And I'm trying really hard not to go into my insults here. This is a struggle. When I watched that video, my stomach was literally hurting. When I had to sit, I didn't have to, but I'm like, these girls, people are down in it. I'm like, they look gothic, but that don't mean they're gothic. So let me look at these people before I call. Let me look at these four girls before I call them posers because they were in a shop, a store. I forgot what it was, but I'm like, they're working, so they can't be that bad. Let me look at this before. It's not passing judgment. It's calling posers out when you see them. So I said, let me look at these girls before I decide that they're posers or goth because they're working. You know, they look like they're earning their money. Posers. 100 and million, 50 a million percent, quintillion percent posers. These girls aren't even close to goth. They're not even listening to, they listen to rap music and say it's goth. They're listening to people that aren't even gothic. Like they had some old Ice Cube music going on. They had some old NWA, some old Dr. Dre from the Chronic album. Like that's not goth. Come on, man. That's not gothic. That's not gothic. That's not none. That's about as close as gothic as this remote being is to blue. Oh, that's about as close to gothic as this remote is to being pink. There's nothing pink about this remote. That button is red. Everything on this remote is that's close to being pink is not pink. It's red, red, red. Nothing on this remote is freaking pink. Take it a step further. What's orange on this remote? What's orange? Oh, that little dot down there. That's the only thing that's orange. That's like saying because that little dot is orange, that means this whole remote is orange. You could clearly see that this is a black remote. That's like saying this remote is red. You're calling it something it's not. Just because you see one little speck of something in it, you're calling something that is not. And I just got a YouTube notification from one of the gothic females I was just telling you about. This is a person that should be recognized as a gothic person because she's a very, very respectful gothic person. And for it to be passed off as like for her, for me talking about those four girls and for her posting it on her channel is a degrade and deface to our channels, but at the same time it needs to be said. 100% needs. And I can't stress that word enough. It needs to be said because girls are out here faking, being posers, and they don't know what being gothic is like. I'm gothic, but I don't wear makeup all the time. I'm gothic, but you don't see me or hardly any other gothics out there being pretending to be vampires or living a vampire life or being, gothics don't all do the same thing. And if you've seen my video, let me clarify something before it gets out of hand. Although I do drink the blood bag juices, although I do have these, the vampire blood potion bottle, the mermaid tears, the blood bags, this is almost gone. But, you know, the blood bags and stuff like that. Just because I have those blood bags and this here, this doesn't make me a vampire goth. It's because I like the juice, and that's just what happened to name. That's just what the name happened to be. And when I run out, I just order or buy more of the stuff and make it. No, If you're saying that that makes me a bit of a vampire gothic or a werewolf gothic, so be it. I don't mind. But I don't, you can see from my clothes, they don't normally, I don't normally dress like that. One of my juices is open. But the fact of the matter is, being gothic doesn't mean all gothics wear makeup, or are witches, or are warlocks, or are devils, or are evil, or are, I'm actually a Christian at my, I mean, a deacon at my church. All Gothics are not demonic or evil. Not the darkness doesn't always hold evil, something evil. When you close your eyes, you see darkness. That's not evil. That's you trying to get some sleep. The nighttime has stars in the sky because it's the way nature is. You got to have balance. Just because it's nighttime doesn't mean there's something evil lurking around every shadow. There's not somebody out to get you behind every corner, between every sidewalk. There's bushes. There's not somebody hiding behind the bushes, lurking to take your life or kill you or come after you or do something to make you scared. It's where your mind set is. It's how you take things or how you perceive things. Take, for instance, this. Can you see through this? No. What am I doing? What am I doing? You think I'm digging my nose? No, you take it away and it's look. I'm actually rubbing my nose and then I'm actually pinching it. But I'm rubbing it too because I'm hiding something I'm doing. It's not always about that. What am I doing now? You think I'm pinching my nose? No, I'm actually rubbing it. And there's nothing wrong with my nose. I'm basically just using this as an example. Only when you turn it this way, it starts to get a little clearer. And as you move it, do more research, it becomes clear of what Gothic is and what it isn't. You know the difference between posers and fake people. Um, there are, let me see who this person was. I hope she's, like, I'm not a professor, I'm not a perfect Gothic enthusiast or philosopher or nothing like that. I'm not, I don't have a degree in Gothic subculture or medieval times or nothing, but I did enough research to know what being a poser is and what being Gothic is. And believe me, if you're not Gothic or you don't do your research, it's easy to spot a poser when you think that they're Gothic. I'm not gonna call them gothic, but if you see a poser dressing as gothic, you're gonna be like, oh wow, they're gothic, because you're already set in your mind that they're evil, they're demonic, and that's your mindset. That doesn't mean where they are. Like I said, I'm a deacon at my church, and my church doesn't judge me. They don't drag me down in the mud. They don't treat me like I'm different. They treat me like I'm their family. They don't look at me weird. They don't look at me different. You know, and if you're familiar with Christianity, being a deacon at your church, you have to do a lot. You have to go out there and help other people. It's more than just that, but you got to be readily available for people to your pastor to help you. You have to study on your word. You have to do a lot of stuff. So, yeah, if you know what being a deacon in your church is about, you know what I went through to become that deacon, to get that title, to get that job, to get that responsibility. It's not about always being evil or where your mindset is. You can call me evil all you want to, and I don't care because I'm not going to see you from like I said, you're not gonna see me from how many fingers I'm holding up. Four. You only see that, but you don't see my thumb over here. My thumb could be down, my thumb could be up. Like right now, is my thumb down or up? You don't know because that's just how well you know me. That's just how well I know you. But the thing is, my perception of my life, the way I live my life, is different from my perception of how you view your life. I could see you as in church every day, but you could be faking. You might not be a Christian. You're just in church just to say you went. You don't get up and shout the praises. You don't get up and you can say, "Oh, I like pizza. I like pizza." You got pizza in front of you, Then as soon as I turn my back, you're throwing it out the window, like the people do the wine in that movie. What was that movie? I can't remember that one, but it was in Zombieland. I was trying to find another movie other than Zombieland. But when Tallahassee gave gave Eisenberg the drink, he turned his head to pour himself another one. He poured out the window. He threw it out the window. He said, "One and done for me." I say that once, you know. But he didn't drink, but he didn't want to hurt the guy's feelings either. I would have politely declined, been like, "Nah, man, okay, I'm okay. I don't drink." There's nothing wrong with telling people no. There's nothing wrong with being who you are. It's when you stop being who you are that makes you fake. It's when you become the poser, you become fake and atrocious and a disrespect to the community of Gothic people or whoever the people you are that you're representing. People that's going to call you evil and demonic, they've already passed judgment on you. They're already made up in your mind that, oh, this is who you are, so you don't owe them any explanation. Even if they didn't, you don't owe them any explanation anyway. But the fact of the matter is, people are going to judge you whether you're right or wrong, high or low, fat or skinny, tall or short, obese or anorexic, no matter what shape you're in, no matter what you do, say, eat, people are always going to draw their own conclusions of you because they think that you should match their frame of mind, their lifestyle, and if you don't, then you're wrong. The way that those women, I'm not even gonna call them women, the way that those broads, those females stood in that coffee house or their job or wherever it was, I think it was a coffee house, the way that they stood there portraying like they were working, I bet they lost their jobs now. I wouldn't put that past me. 100%, I bet they lost their jobs because of the video. And the fact that they want people to think that they're gothic, aside from the three guys that I aforementioned, they think that they're gothic, that they're going to be getting more and more and more. They only did that for the views, they only did that for the money. They got probably, I don't know how many people on their OnlyFans giving them money. I can't even respect the fact that they had a job because I don't know if it's real or not. Even if it is real, they're still giving real Gothic women a bad name. Um, the fact that there's people that, okay, Star Raven Gothic Eternity. This is another respectful female goth that I watch. She's not demonic or Satanism or evil or dressing promiscuous or provocative. Look, this is one of her videos. This is a short that she upload. If she does it at home, that's her business. She's doing that for her husband. She's not doing that for me and everybody else on social media. Let me give you some examples of some of the Gothic women that I follow. Like I said, I have three Gothic sisters. And of these three Gothic sisters, none of them dress promiscuous. They don't dress fallacious. They don't dress like a 7, and they darn sure don't act like a 7-Eleven. One of them is Spooky McBlink, like I mentioned earlier. She's a small YouTuber, very small, 125 subs. I want to try and get, this is her page. She has some very positive videos. She's funny. She's very funny. At times she's a little corny, but that's her appeal is that she can be a little corny sometimes. But that's her channel. Her name is Spooky McBlink. Another Gothic female that I follow is Jade the Libra. Excuse me. Jade the Libra, excuse me, if you know, she needs no introduction. Jade the Libra. She has 200,000 subs. 275,000. Yeah. Oh, she went up 2,000 subs. 10,000. She was at 275,000. She's at 277, but that's Jade the Libra. Another, that's me, that's Spider Raven. Another girl is the girl I was just talking to you about, Star Raven's Gothic Eternity. She has 12,000 subs. This is her. She's actually a really positive person, too. Um, this girl, Helga, she's okay, too. There's nothing wrong with her stuff. She only has 5,000 subs. But you see, her videos are not promiscuous. They're not like that. None of her videos are like that. She doesn't dress like that. She's a very respectful person. Abby, this girl makes dolls, I think. This is another respectable gothic person that I follow. Raven Knight, this is not a gothic girl. This is music that I recently came into a couple of weeks back. Gremlin Girl is another respectful person. A lot of stuff she says is questionable, but she's respectful enough to where I can watch her stuff, and she's got 6,000 subs. You know, I don't know any if these other girls are. Maddie Danger, she's another gothic person. If you know her, you know who she is. She has 45,000 subs, and look at her videos. You don't see her dressing like she walks the streets or walks the night. Yeah, walk the night. Hey, walk the night. Okay, I got that song from Megan, but you know what I mean. I can't play it on YouTube because of copyright, but you know what I mean. But those are just some of the few females that I follow that I actually respect as gothic women. Aside from that, I can't really say anything about anything else. I follow some girls on YouTube, or not YouTube, Instagram too, but a lot of them are questionable. I'll show you Jade the Libra. I just showed you. Yes, I follow her on YouTube, but I'll show you. I can't. It's not on this phone. My Instagram is on this one that I'm recording on. So, I mean, I do follow my brother and my sister. Tales from Another Universe. Go ahead and follow them. They're gothic. My sister actually has her book out. Um, I forgot what it's called. It's on Wattpad. Let me look it up really quick. Her book is called The Last Guardian. My brother also has a book on Wattpad. It's called The Dark Chronicles. Thedarkchronicles. The Dark Chronicles. And but he's not gothic though. The book is set in steampunk gothic era. Um, it's also one of my favorite books because I'm in it. But his name is Desert Fox 088. Go ahead and follow his channel. He's not a gothic person though. He's not gothic, nor does he fake like he is. He does play a lot of horror like me, horror video games and stuff. But this is my brother and my sister, one of them. Tales from Another Universe. Let me flip this camera on so you can see it better. Tales from Another Universe. That's them. And they also do a bunch of collaborations with me. That's one of my brothers there. That's my brother. That's one of my best friends. It's like a brother to me. You seen his wife. This is her. They do a lot of AI like I do. I was gonna try to leave AI alone. See, they collaborate with me.
That's what you get for going in that house.
This is some stuff that they collaborated with me. This is one of my videos.
Yeah, that's what you get for going in that
You can
house.
see cyanide.
I love you, little pit viper.
I love
We do quite a few collaborations together. I got some of her stuff on my page, and she's got some of mine on hers. This is one of the arts that I did for them. I do my own music. Whenever I do a song, they'll collaborate it for me. They'll collaborate with me. See, if I don't know you, I'm not gonna follow you back. You know, It's just so awesome to have people that collaborate with you. They help you get your music out and stuff like that. How long is this video? I mean, an hour and 10 seconds. This went on. I tried to keep it short, but it's just a lot that I can touch on, a lot that I can hit on. The way that people do the gothic community now with the girls is just very wrong for the simple fact that if you're not gothic, like I said, and you look into the gothic community, you're not gonna know what the gothic community really is about. Like if I hadn't done my research and I seen somebody wearing a black shirt, I'm like, oh, are you gothic? I don't know. It's a question. That's why it comes out as a question. Are you gothic? I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. But for the 90% of humanity that do jump to assumptions, oh, you're evil. You're gothic. You must be evil. You're wearing black shoes. You're wearing black pants. You must worship Satan. No, you must be depressed. No. You must be a person that does self harm. No. You must be a person that does, witchcraft. No. You must be a person. No. Not all Gothics do the same thing. We're all different people. Yes, I like horror movies, but that doesn't make me Gothic. Yes, I listen to the music, but no, that doesn't make me Gothic. I listen to Christian music too. I listen to a lot of gospel music. I listen to a lot of Gothic music too. I like Nicks. I like my music for one. If you've been on my channel, you know what my two albums are released. I'm currently, not now, but I'm in the present working on a third album now. And it's not close to being done because I'm trying, like all of my music, like 98% of my music has no words because my music, it circulates and gravitates toward rave music, party rave music with no words. It's just upbeat music. There's not supposed to be words to it. I have an app where I can come up with words. It'll help me with words, but I never intended my music to have words to it. It's just supposed to be rave music. That's all it is. It's rave music. Um, I do a lot of clothing altercation. I'll buy my clothes and altercate the clothes on it. Um, I buy a lot of clothes. People think that you're gothic, you're supposed to spend all this huge amount of money. Gothic is not rich. Believe me, Gothic is not rich. But if you're like I aforementioned, if you're more heavy set or tall, I'm 6 feet 7 inches tall. Being Gothic is hard because I can't find a pair of pants that's 40 or $50. This is how much my pair of pants are. I get I do have New York style trip pants, but this is where I get my a lot of my pants from, Dark Rock. They make good clothing. And I lost a lot of my tags. I threw them away, but every time I buy something from them, I put tape over it and I save it. It's like a little thing that I do. So I have more gothic pants and shorts than this and shirts than this. This is when I started saving my tags though. Now, just to tell you, Gothic is not expensive. I just have to buy these because they're the only people I know that make 5X. Look at this. That's 5X. Look at the price on a pair of pants. I'll turn it around so you can see it. Let me rotate this. You see that? You see that? I think that was a sale. And here's the rest of them. 179, 179, 129, 129. I got lucky and bought a pair of pants for $89. They came to $74, I think, after tax. I like it when they're $89. I bought these because there's not a lot of people that make 5X. This is, like I said, the clothing name of this is Dark Rock. These are just happen to be some of the price tags on them. Now, granted, I did find a lot of these pair of pants for $89 and $94. But Like I said, I can't find pants that's my size. Levi's used to make my size, but then it's like they forgot tall people existed. And if you're 6'7" or a little bit on the heavy side, you know how hard it is to find clothes. Excuse me. But that's still no excuse to drag somebody through the mud by being promiscuous, saying you're gothic, like by those four girls trying to claim that they're gothic, is setting a bad example and is setting the tone because it's so in your face. They're setting the tone for how gothic girls should be, and that's not how gothic girls are at all. That's not any way, shape, form, fashion, or style how gothic girls are. Real gothic girls, I mean. Not because you see a girl in black leather and latex and you say she's gothic. No, that's somebody fulfilling somebody's fantasy. Excuse me. Man, an hour, 5, 6 minutes. I gotta end this video because it's gone on. Thank you. Hi to my two my two viewers. But the thing is, those girls that I aforementioned in the YouTube, those are gothic, respectable females. Um, there's a lot of females that deserve respect for actually being gothic, not those four girls that were in the job or whatever place they were. Like I said, she spit in a guy's mouth. That's not gothic. She's fulfilling a fantasy. They're lying to people, making people think that they're gothic when they're not, just to make a dollar, just to make a paycheck. And I think the only reason they posted themselves in that Starbucks is to say, oh, we don't need OnlyFans to make money. We don't need to do that. Yes, you do because you're doing it. You're literally straight up there making money off of doing whatever it is these desperate guys want you to do to them. It's really sad. It's pathetic when you think about it because girls like that are actually not worth being among or with humanity. They don't know about what's gothic and what's not. It's hard to have respect for people like that because they're giving real gothic girls a bad name. That being said, an hour and 7 minutes this video went on. I'm going to show you my second channel. This is my second channel. Go ahead. Let me turn this around. That's my second channel. Go ahead and follow that second channel. This is me live here, but this is my subs here, and I'm trying to get at least 500 subs here. Go ahead and give me a follow and a like. A lot of my music is here. I won't play it here, but thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you for sticking out with me this long. If you made it this long, give me a like and a sub or something like that. Anything helps. But thank you guys for coming. This is Draven Rain Phoenix. I am signing out of here. You guys have a blessed day. Be safe and stay scared.